live. Hello, Internet. It has been too many weeks. That would be 2 weeks, which is too many weeks, since we saw your beautiful faces. Or I guess since you saw our beautiful faces. We don't see your faces. We're here with, if you can believe it, episode 10 of Queer Questers.
Wow.
What is even happening? Things are just as queer and just as wholesome. Actually, maybe not. We did have the phylactery last episode.
We did very well staying wholesome, considering we all went into the phylactery.
I felt that we were as wholesome as conceivably possible.
As awkward teenagers can be when confronted with that kind of establishment.
Yeah, that's fair. I was not a wholesome teen, so the idea of wholesome teens in general is foreign to me. But, yeah, we're here. Episode 10, it's exciting. We're gonna go to class, because I feel like that's a thing that you do in school, and in 10 episodes, we've been to class, like, once. So, let's go back to class, everybody. I forgot to write down announcements. Regular announcements. We have a ton of shows. You should watch them. Next up on Saturday is Cold Iron. It's the Winter Oak group. So I will be there running Winter Oak through all of that fun stuff. Last time there were some Yetis and a unicorn. The unicorn was actually a hag, so that was a whole thing. I think the players might hate me now. So it's weird over there, weird and snowy on Cold Iron, and I hope you're enjoying D&D Noir. That's going to be on Tuesday next week, their 4th episode, short anthologies. There's only 6, so tune in and check that out. Lots of mysteries, lots of fog. Again, I don't know anything about Noir if it's not Veronica Mars, so... Noir! It's good, though. You should watch it. And what else? Oh, Lost on the Great Road officially joined our channel. That's every other Monday. You can see me play in that. That's exciting. I do things that aren't run the game, along with some other cool people. It's a Planescape campaign, so if you like planes and the... Oh, partners! And seeing parts of D&D that aren't just... Faerun, then you should check that out. We are looking for players and DMs to join us, so if that interests you, you should give us a shout. Because we're trying to have shows every day of the week, so that when Emily starts her cast iron show, she'll be super busy. Does anyone have any other announcements they want to share personally? What is that, Chris?
It's a pea!
It's a pea?
There's 3 of them. I'm sorry.
I've seen them. They live
Are they peas in a pod?
Yes, they do have a pod, but right now they're just naked.
That's from Toy Story, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just like peas.
I will admit the fact that it, at least to me, looks yellow had me thinking it was a different kind of pea.
It's chartreuse.
Only Sahar would know that.
That's a gross word.
That's true.
Chartreuse is a word that is really gross.
I think that mauve is pretty bad in terms of color.
Mauve?
Or
Yeah,
puce.
mauve. Oh,
Puce, though.
Puce.
puce. Yeah,
I mean, puce sounds like puke, so
Yeah.
you're already there, basically.
And
Anyway.
chartreuse is at least a liqueur.
That's true. Liqueur.
Liqueur.
We will... Do you speak French, Samara?
Un peu.
Okay.
I studied it for 10 years, but it is still an
Interesting.
impossible language.
High five.
Based on how all of the Americans I know pronounce La Croix, I am always...
No, hey, that's the actual company. That's not our fault. I call it La Croix because I watched a lot of Absolutely Fabulous when I was a kid.
I call it
La
La
Croix,
Croix because
darling,
I
La
like
Croix.
Overwatch.
We all have our reasons.
Anyway, I was just gonna make fun of Americans, but I won't do that because you're pretty okay for Americans.
We do our best.
We love you. You should just come up here.
Yeah.
Where we're not great, but maybe less terrible?
I'll come up there. I'll come visit.
I'll come up there.
Healthcare!
Yeah.
Also, actual legal gay marriage, so...
Hey,
We
we have
have
actual
some
legal gay
places.
marriage for
Yeah,
the
well,
most part.
We have it federally and have for quite some time.
We have it federally too.
Do
And
you
have
have
had
it
for
federally?
several years.
I thought it
Yes.
was just like
Yeah.
state-based.
No, there was a gigantic celebration a few years ago when it finally passed federally. We all lost our tiny gay minds.
Yeah.
Wow, apparently I just missed that. I also don't understand how your political system works. Electoral college?
It's
What is
garbage.
that?
Don't worry about that. No, I'll come visit because I have a lot of Jewish friends in Toronto. Y'all have a vibrant Jewish community there.
Excellent.
Okay.
Toronto is actually pretty far from where we live.
Not me.
It's,
Look, I'll go to parts of Canada, all right? I've been to Saskatchewan. That's
It's-
pretty cool.
Why is Saskatchewan?
I had a friend who lived there. I went there in January because I'm a fool.
I'm sorry.
Good choice.
yeah, that was a bad decision. That's
Yeah,
a-
not my best.
Yeah, that's a full of regrets decision. And Toronto's not that far from those of us who are in the capital. I mean, dependent. I went to university in Thunder Bay, so something that's only 4 or 5 hours away from me seems not
Excuse
that
me,
bad.
That was the most boss name I've ever
Thunder
heard.
Bay.
Thunder Bay.
Holy shit.
It's
That's my
holy-
Mad Max OC. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, it is. Holy shit.
It's not as epic as it sounds. It's full of racism and it's the murder capital of
Oh.
Canada.
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, if you're looking for an interesting thing about Thunder Bay, there is a podcast called Thunder Bay about all the racism and murder.
And murder.
It's
I mean, I know y'all have murders. I listened to a Cults episode about Canadian serial killers.
interesting.
Oh, about Karla Homolka and Karla Homolka?
We have more serial killers than that. I don't know why I'm saying
Yeah.
that like we should be proud of that. That's not what I mean.
We
but-
did have a cult one time. I listened to a podcast about that. I was shocked that I had never known that there was a there was a
There's
cult
more
in
than
Quebec.
one. There's the
It would be
Anthill Kids.
Quebec.
There was another one.
Oh yeah, the Anthill Kids was Canada.
They're fucked
Yes.
up.
That's fucked up.
Fucked up. Let's
Uh,
play D&D. Let's get back to
Wow.
we're getting off on
Yeah,
it.
this one
I'm
decidedly in a different direction.
It got real dark. I'm sorry, y'all.
But we have more viewers, so
are.
maybe just Queer Questers now becomes we all just talk about weird
Yeah.
shit in
There's
Canada.
not questing.
We'll talk
um,
about how fucked up things exist in Canada too, but it's not all America all the time.
But yeah, let's play some D&D because that's what we're here for, and I am personally excited about the disaster that this episode is going to be. Don't let me down. When last episode you were in town, there was a face-off with the bully Hollyhock,
Face slash.
and then
It didn't go well for him.
no, he fell down.
It's a slippery wiener.
Took a tumble, that wiener.
Yeah, he's a slippery.
Yes, he is a slippery wiener.
Let's not say
And then
that.
we may or may not have gotten robbed, or like we got robbed but then unrobbed because Nimble handled that shit like a boss.
And I didn't tell them
Nope.
not to rob Hollyhock. And it
So we have
just feels so good.
and then we went back and had chips and guac and did a dramatic reading of Horned Passions.
Oh yes, I didn't write down the title. I just wrote Bodice Ripper. So
Yeah,
I'm
no.
glad you wrote down the
No,
title.
my buddy Rip Rockhard came in and they and I did
Ah yes,
the spirited reading.
good old Rip Rockhard. All right, so we're gonna pick up a couple of days after that, and it's the beginning of the week, and you've got class, because sometimes in this school we go to class.
Shit.
I thought we only had detention.
Sounds fake, but okay.
It's not detention anymore if it's just every day.
Today's class is Secrets of the Arcane, Magic in Amora. It is your
Gen Ed.
yeah, it's your first year like history of magic class with Professor Theraval, who
Turn to page
Why?
394.
who yes, you have had some interactions with. Good old
That's
Nimble.
a very nice way of rephrasing that.
I brought all my copies of Moderately Impressive Beasts.
How many do you have now?
I think at this point Sahar has 3.
Okay, so you have the one that you took from Professor Theraval. You have the new edition that you just bought in town, and did you have an edition that you brought with you
yeah.
then? Okay.
Oh yeah, his favorite book.
Moderately interesting beasts and where one might locate them.
Exactly. He needs to know where he might locate the beasts.
If we ever get like a Christmas episode, Sahar's just gonna get like 6 copies.
I feel like he just wants every new printing. Like
And old printing. You never know.
He's got like the Encyclopedia Britannica, but it's just all the different printings. All right, so History of Magic, where Sinesh is utterly out of her depth and delighted. Let's do this.
So you walk in to History of Magic class, and I am looking up a thing because I forgot to write a note down for this. You walk into it's a classroom in that there's like desks and things, but it's very cluttered. It's full of art and artifacts, personal items, it seems like, of the professor just litter the room everywhere. And then it's so crowded with all of these artifacts and this art that you, the desks are kind of like pushed into the middle and like not in nice rows because there's like chests of stuff in random places, so it's very cluttered. And at the front of the classroom is a bunch of there's a desk with a bunch of magic stuff. There's a little cauldron, it's bubbling, smoke's coming out of it. There's some potion bottles, some strange ingredients all lined up on the wall. A blackboard, of course, that's a necessity in a classroom. And there stands Professor Theraval, who I will describe for our viewers who maybe have forgotten that he is an elf. And he has... I have to skip all this secret information and not read that out loud. He has pale blue-gray eyes that some people might describe as silver, and he always wears these long purple robes, and he has long black hair that's always pulled back into a bun at the very back, perfectly centered, perfectly round at the back of his head. It looks like he has a severe look in a sense, but his eyes are very warm. He's very kind of friendly looking, despite the severe appearance. Even if you don't feel that way, Nimble. I
haven't gotten that impression so far.
I mean, you did steal from him and you're still at school, so he can't be that bad. So you enter into the room. He greets you. He hasn't seen you since last week.
When you stole from him.
That was a couple of weeks ago, actually. We're about a month into school now. We've skipped some time, because otherwise, if we just keep playing out at the snail's pace that we have been, it'll take us a decade to finish the first year. So, we're like a month into school. You've probably had, this is maybe your third or fourth class with him now. And
this class is with a few other pods, right? It's not
yes.
just
Yeah, so it's a mix of all of the colors of dorms, people that you recognize in this class. Merida is with you. Wilfred, the little halfling boy, is with you. And then some other students that we'll name if we have to, from like green and orange and the other different dorms. So yeah. You take your seat. Are you all sitting together? They're kind of like tables grouped together. You could easily sit together.
I'm gonna sit next to Sahar, just in case I have to copy his homework. But also because I love him and he's sweet and lovely.
All
That's
right.
fair.
Excellent. So you all sit at the table with Nimble sidling up next to Sahar, both lovingly and with a secret agenda. Your last lesson was on the identification of magical artifacts. To this point in time, you haven't been allowed to actually practice any magic. It's all been a lecture. And as you come and sit down at your desks today, you'll notice that at each chair there is a rolled up scroll tied with some twine and a red apple. And he says, welcome, welcome, come in, yes, yes, yes. Today, we are going to be actually practicing some magic.
Dinesh has already, gone to eat the apple and is like, oh, maybe not. And puts it back down.
Please, that is not a snack. I conjured it from somewhere. You might not want to eat it.
Oh.
Before we do that, though, I think it's important that we learn a little bit about the history of magic at Gromany. Does anyone know anything about, how magic evolved here at Gromany? Yes?
Are you gonna make me fucking improv this?
Oh, yes. Yes, go for it, Nor.
Because the reality is that Nora has read the textbook, but you have not given me a textbook.
No, I haven't.
I'm just
So,
kinda-
here's a fun DM secret. When you don't want to do all the world building, make your players do it for you.
Collaborative storytelling.
I will tell you that the first wizard who established magic here is Francesca Farblatt.
A lady!
Yeah, she was a famed goblin wizard, and she is responsible for establishing the magic curriculum originally at Gromany. Now go for it and tell us about the history of magic at Gromany.
Okay. You said her name is Francesca
Farblatt.
Farblatt. I should have thought about this before I put my hand up. Okay. So I have no idea what year it is where we are, so just insert an appropriate date.
Yep.
Francesca Farblatt, the world-renowned goblin wizard, legend says that she was observing the sky through a prism made of glass and taking notes about the nature of colors and waves, and I don't know how light actually works. And this inspired her to make a system of learning that could be that was best experienced through 6 parts, and she named each part after a color of the visible spectrum. And she wrote her famous book, blank, I need some other collaborative storyteller to help me come up with a really nice name for that textbook, which is now, of course, the cornerstone of our modern understandings of magic. And in such and such a date, she became involved in the community around, it's Amora, right? Is the name of the
Amora,
area?
yeah.
Amora. And she very sustainably invested in the local economy to build this school, not by bringing in her goblin friends, but by hiring local people to build a very... that doesn't make any sense because it's all about legacy families and shit.
Why don't we say the school was already established, but it didn't have a magic component, and she was very upset about this, I think. And so she came in with her color theory and sort of rejigged the school and made magic a core part. Before it was just about educating anyone, but she really wanted to elevate students with exceptional abilities. How's that sound?
That is what I said. Sure.
I'm just trying to help you out. That's all.
I was not ready to improv that. It's bad.
Now we all gotta get on our game. Now we know what's coming.
All right. So you tell a little bit about Francesca Farblatt. Professor Theraval is impressed that you have read ahead in the textbook, that you know a little bit about her. And he says that the way that he talks about her as being, oh, she was such a lovely woman, and she was so warm with the students. Very in a very like warm way he discusses her.
How old is the school?
The school is let's say 200 years old.
Oh, so like in elf years he probably hung out with her.
Yeah, 200 years is not
Like
that long.
is that the sense that we're getting from the way that he talks about her?
It does seem as if he knows her personally, but who are my elven babies here? That would be you, Nor. He looks really young.
Is she alive?
No.
Okay. So Francesca...
Goblins don't live a very long time.
Oh, right.
No, but liches do.
Liches do. Stop guessing all my stories. No.
Liches do. Can our shirts say that?
Liches
But liches
do.
do.
Just liches.
Liches do.
We'll just make all the shirts. That's
Yeah.
fine. Elliot can just make all the shirts.
Ah!
Sorry, not sorry. Just you're in the shirt making business now. She is dead. And Professor Theraval looks young for an elf.
He the reincarnation of Francesca Farblatt?
Is he her proxy?
Her avatar on this earth?
Oh.
Last,
So, like-
the last airbender.
Someone's making noise. Is it a kitty?
My cat. It's a cat. I gather none of you can hear it.
No.
Oh, good, because she's telling me a story.
It's full
Yeah.
of yells.
Yeah.
Discourse.
She just
having
wants to
some
play.
She's telling us not to trust the teacher on his.
He's actually giving us the history of Francesca Farblatt.
It's
Yeah,
true.
because
Yeah.
He knows.
Yeah.
Okay. So the thing is, Nora's going to be suspicious of that, but she would never call a teacher out on something like that. So maybe, she's going to like very carefully like write on the edge of her notebook, like he looks young with like a question mark, and then like slide it over to whoever is sitting next to her.
All right, who's sitting next to Nor?
It's me.
Excellent, Sinesh. You get the written note.
And she looks at the note and looks at the professor and looks back at Nora as like, Sinesh don't know shit about elf age. She's basically an orc. She doesn't know what's going on.
So as this is going on, Professor Theraval is continuing to... oops, I turned Siri on. No, Siri, don't search that. Is continuing to discuss how the magic curriculum evolved to its modern day thing and how it's integrated with the other schools, and impressing upon you the importance that you all take this class regardless of your natural aptitude for magic. So this goes on for a little bit. Does anyone have any questions they would like to ask the professor?
I think Frankie is like pointedly avoiding eye contact with him to not get picked for any questions or anything.
Right, yeah.
Sahar is just nerding out real hard and taking notes.
All the notes. Yeah.
Yeah, he is already on page like 4.
So
Dinesh
good.
just keeps looking kind of longingly at the apples. She's a
Sahar
growing
looks up
girl.
For, like, a quick moment and like kind of cants his head, reaches into one of his pouches, pulls out like a paw full of crickets, and just like.
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right.
Dinesh is very grateful and excited and eats.
Are they alive crickets or?
Nah, they're like roasted.
Oh, okay.
I'll share with Nimble if Nimble wants any.
Yeah.
They just taste like tea leaves.
Yeah.
All right, so everybody's munching on crickets. Well, not everybody, but some people are munching on crickets mid history of magic class. Good times,
We're
good times.
taking notes too. You just
Yeah.
get hungry.
Sahar's shoveling with one hand and writing with the other. There's a lot of this.
I like it.
It was like interested, but also like very interested in getting to the point, but like knows that's wrong to say. So it's also like vibrating and like eating crickets to prevent them from like being an ass in the middle of class.
So, Professor Theraval looks to you, Nora, and says, I'm really glad that you discussed the emphasis on color in Professor Farblott's work, because we're going to be drawing on that a little bit today. And he begins to launch into a discussion about prestidigitation.
Is it discussion if he's the only one talking?
Some students are asking questions.
Okay.
Just not you guys, apparently.
Sorry, didn't take it.
So there's a back and forth about the uses of prestidigitation. Does anybody know what prestidigitation is? Nimble! And
You
he's
can see
like
someone else's pants.
Sorry, first of all, he's like visibly shocked that you're answering the question. What did you say?
So basically, prestidigitation can like clean or soil anything. So Nimble's just like, you can pee someone else's pants. Like that's the only thing that they learn.
And he's like looking through his notes. That is a unorthodox use of the spell, certainly. But yes, you can do that. You can use it to clean or soil something. Sahar.
Prestidigitation is a form of transmutation that lets you do things like create sensory effects or light or put out fires or make sort of like illusory images or pee someone else's pants.
Nimble's
Very
looking
good.
really happy.
Very, very good. Very descript. Again, the peeing of the pants is unorthodox.
Unorthodox is not synonymous with bad. And then he just like
No, you are correct.
I think Frankie crosses her legs and like a little bit uncomfortably in her seat.
because of the pee pants talk.
Yeah, she's like, I don't really want anyone else to pee my pants.
Diary. I do not wish for another to pee my pants.
We will not be peeing our own or anyone else's pants today. Instead, we will be using prestidigitation to change the color of these apples. You will notice that you all have a scroll of prestidigitation and an apple. So, to do the components of a spell, there are 3 components. There is a verbal component. You can talk, you can use a magic word. It's really, whatever speaks to you. That's how we're going to power our magic, you know? Feeling good about it. The second thing is components. Some of you will need components, some of you will not, and some spells don't need any components. Prestidigitation does not require any components, but components might be tree bark, or gems, or ashes. And last but not least is the somatic component, which normally means some kind of gesture that helps to focus the spell. So for this, we will be using a verbal and a somatic component to cast our prestidigitation spells. Point of order, do any of you actually, and by any of you I'm looking at my 2 casters here, have prestidigitation?
I do not.
Okay, excellent. So, you will also have to try to cast it from the scroll, which means you do not automatically do it. You would have gold starred it otherwise. So, you can all unroll your scrolls now. And they're blank when you first unroll them. And it takes maybe like 5 to 10 seconds before it sort of fills with like words and instructions that are unique to each of you. And so I'm going to put you on the spot and say, what are your verbal and somatic instructions for your prestidigitation? No one has any idea.
Oh, I'm working on something real quick.
What are you
Sorry.
thinking?
I'm thinking as well.
I got my somatic components. I can't think of a good verbal.
Okay, what's the somatic component again?
Oh boy.
Gesturing.
That's the
flailing.
gesture.
I hope Norris is just flailing.
I just need a second. I also have like a good idea, and I just need a second to like.
Okay.
Bring it together.
I've got mine if you want.
All right, Nimble. What are your instructions?
Oh man, it's so dumb. So I know you didn't mean for this to be like super Harry Potter, but then it was the only thing I could think
It's
of.
fine.
So Nimble just grabs like a quill or pencil, I don't know what we have to write with, and just kind of lazily swings it, and sunshine, daisies, butter, mellow, turn this stupid apple yellow.
All right. Since you're doing it, I'm going to get you to roll. You are not proficient in Arcana, I happen to know, because you have informed me that you would like to be proficient in Arcana, and you are about to learn why. Please make me an Arcana check with disadvantage, because you are not a magic user.
Yes! Yes! I got a 7.
A 7! Excellent! So,
This is exactly the result I hoped for with
Nothing?
this spell.
happens for a second to your apple. And then out of the blue, you get an overwhelming urge to fill your mouth with dirt.
More than usual?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you know what? You just want to just shovel dirt right in there.
Okay.
We will return to you and your dirt problem in a moment.
Oh man.
Like, did we just go full Hansel and Gretel witch hunters or something? Is that where we're going? The curse of hunger for crawling things?
Oh yeah.
I've never seen it.
If y'all haven't
Fascinating.
seen that movie, it's an amazingly bad film, and you should watch it immediately.
Who has their spell scroll instructions now? Frankie, what does your spell scroll say?
Hers is pretty basic. Her gesture is just is kind of like a flourish of her hands, go like that, pointing at the apple. And then it's just the word is to say the color she wants in Orcish.
Okay.
But she speaks Orcish like a very white person speaks Spanish. So
All right.
her
Excellent.
pronunciation is very like clunky and bad. But that's her. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay.
That's how it goes. She does the flourish and she wants to change it to purple, so she says purple in Orcish.
Wonderful.
But like, yeah.
Okay, go ahead and roll me an Arcana check, also with disadvantage because you are not a caster.
Okay. Let's see what is it? 6.
All right. Immediately, your apple transforms into the strangest creature you have ever seen, that has the body of a raccoon and the head of a crow.
And it says, "Kill me."
Okay,
And it
so
just-
now,
What a perfect trash baby!
now we've gone Full Metal Alchemist.
Mhm.
And, like, it only gets worse from here.
And it
Oh,
just
no.
starts squawking at you and running around the classroom, pulling things out of drawers in a very raccoony fashion.
Point of order. How fat is it?
How spherical is this creature?
Like,
It is a well-fed garbage creature.
I mean, it came from an apple, so I feel like it needs to be really round.
Yeah, it's very
yeah,
round.
yeah.
Can
I'm
I
picturing the raccoon from Pocahontas. That's what I'm picturing.
try to like befriend it somehow, get it to calm down and hang out with me?
We can return to that in a moment, yes. In the meantime, it is stuffing its face with everything edible and also probably not edible that it can find.
Good for her.
Who
Does it
is...
take my apple?
No, it doesn't take the apples.
Okay.
Yet, anyways. Who has a scroll instruction now?
I will go next.
Alright, Sinesh.
Sinesh concentrates on the apple, like tries to do some of the meditation that her old mentor taught her, to focus on the core elements that make up the thing in front of her, and to try and draw out what she wants to see, which is to turn the red apple green.
Okay.
And she does kind of this motion, the sort of upward, pulling it outward. And what she says, in Orcish it rhymes, but in English Samara can't think of how to make words rhyme. So it's basically like green as leaves, green as grass, green as orcs, and tries to do that.
All right. I like your description and your focus on the elements, so you're going to give me an Arcana check, but I'm going to let you do it just regular, without the disadvantage.
Yay!
That monkey background balance thing is working for you here.
Nice. It's a 9.
It's a 9. It is still not enough. Music begins to emanate from you, as if you are some kind of speaker.
From me, not from the apple.
You. Yeah, from you. What music is playing?
Let the dogs out by the bar.
No, yeah, it's Sandstorm, but played on a hammered dulcimer.
Amazing. Amazing. That's going to play continuously for 3 hours.
Okay. Dinesh kind of like is trying to figure out where it's coming from and if there's like an off button.
Is it only when she opens her mouth, or is it constant?
Actually, yeah, follow-up question. Is it like, you know, when Lilo and Stitch, when he puts his claw on the record player?
I will will say, when you open your mouth, it comes out louder. When you shut it, it's still there, but it's a bit more muffled.
Okay, so Sinesh is gonna try not to talk. Like, okay, so can I talk? Or is it just
You can talk, but like words and music are coming out at the same time.
It's like when you're in the club and it's just too loud. And you're
Yeah.
like, hey! Okay, so I'm playing Sandstorm. Carry on.
Alright.
So can I please go next, because I was actually going to have voguing be part of Sahar's somatic element.
Amazing. Yes, you can go next.
So you know how in actually I'll describe it and then I'll analogy it. So Sahar like starts talking and he's reading from his scroll, and he like at first clearly thinks he is speaking common, but is clearly definitely speaking Draconic again. And it's roughly translated to like by boiling blood and like ancient lineage, I exert my will over this thing to blah blah blah,
Yeah.
like turn it purple. And there's a lot of just like and like it's very much like when Harry Potter first speaks Parcel Tongue. It's not that he hasn't spoken Draconic before, but he's like never quite spoken it like this.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, well, I did that.
Amazing. Are you proficient in Arcana?
I am.
All right, you're gonna get to roll this with advantage.
That's gonna be funny. That's an 18, and that's a 16. So 18.
All right. What color does your apple turn?
Purple.
Purple. It's beautiful purple apple.
Point.
Perfect. Gold star for you. Professor Theraval is like, oh, that was wonderful, Sahar. Wonderful. Good job. You're very gifted, clearly.
Thank you for validating me.
Good.
Sinesh tries to agree with him, but then there's more Sandstorm.
Do we have to pay Darude royalties now?
I hope not. We have no
It's our
money.
artistic license. However, if
Um,
anyone has a recording of it played on the hammer dulcimer, I will pay good money for it.
I can make that happen in GarageBand, probably.
Excellent. This is
Or
happening
Mario
now.
Paint.
There
Uh,
are dulcimer players on
That's
YouTube.
your homework, Sahar, for next week. Or Chris, that's your homework, Chris, for next week.
This brings us, last but not least, to Nor.
So Nor has been looking at her scroll the whole time, just like, I can't believe I'm gonna have to do this. And she looks at the teacher as though there's one last hope that maybe there's been some kind of mistake and she doesn't have to do this. But doesn't actually ask anything, and it's just sort of I think I understand that I have to do this. And so she puts the scroll down and she picks up the apple and she goes like this over the apple that's her action. So it has to be an action, a verbal component, and
That's it. That's all you need for
and
this
that's it.
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then she kind of almost she's whispering to the apple, but she's actually singing to the apple. And she says, I only wanna see you change colors in the rain, in the rain. She's like, what's going on? Why?
This is amazing. Are you
I mean-
proficient in Arcana?
Would you believe that I am not?
Okay, so you just get to roll it normally then.
I feel like I deserve that. I fucking sang.
A regular
Fucking
Arcana
Sang
check.
for you people. 12.
12. Okay. All right. Your apple does not change color.
No!
Actually, your apple half changes color. What color were you trying to change it?
I was trying to change it purple, given the song that I picked.
Okay.
Maybe no one caught that.
All right.
Purple rain.
So it changes,
Thank you.
half of the apple changes purple, and then it turns into a purple gem that looks very similar to what Nimble lifted. And just as you're about to reach out and touch it, it shatters.
Oh.
Oh.
Mar slides his apple across the table.
Sinesh tries to comfort Nor in Sandstorm and instead just gives her a hug.
Nor looks like she's going to cry.
Professor Theraval comes over and says, "That was an excellent effort, Nor. You've almost got it." And he snaps his fingers and a new red apple appears. Try again.
Do I have to sing again?
I mean, you don't have to, but if that was your instructions.
Or does.
Yes.
That was my instruction. I'm going through with the headcanon that you spawned.
Excellent.
For my poor, anxious daughter. That time, it was a 16.
This time, your apple turns completely purple. It kind of, like, shakes for a second and then stops, but it is a purple apple. And he applauds you. Excellent, excellent. You just needed a bit more practice. And as he's saying that, small metal objects come, flying out of a drawer as the Crow Coon is starting to wreak complete havoc. And Professor Theraval turns to you, Frankie, and says, "Perhaps you should get that creature."
Yes, interesting idea.
Frankie kind of like gets up and like puts her hand out like you do for cats, the kissy noises, and then when she gets close, I want to scoop it up.
Okay, go ahead and roll an animal handling check for me.
Okay. Maybe I should have asked Sahar for help with this one. Shit! Natural 20! Yes!
All right.
Nice.
That raccoon is all about you.
Yeah, so this Crow Coon comes just like running towards you in that like raccoon movement, you know, where they're kind of like hunched, but then it's got this weird bird head sticking forward, and it's just like running towards you, and it climbs up and sits on your shoulder.
I am delighted. This is the moment Frankie becomes a mother.
Slash another Disney princess.
Frankie returns to her seat with her new strange creature friend on her shoulder.
Amazing. What else did we say, Hetty? So you're making music and oh crap, what did I say happened to you? Oh, you want to eat dirt?
I need to find some dirt.
All right,
Are there plants?
Oh, there's plants.
I'm in them.
Oh, there's
like
plants.
I'm eating plants, and like I'm a cat. I eat plants anyways, but now it's dirt too. Like
All
everything's just going.
Okay, so Nimble is eating
full
dirt.
salad.
How are the rest of you responding to this?
Prayer hands, mostly.
Lots of prayers.
I'm not sure Frankie really knows how out of the ordinary that is, I guess. I think she just kind of like, all right, this checks out.
Nor actually, I want to try and cast Speak with Animals. I want to talk to Frankie's strange friend.
All right. Go ahead and cast Speak with Animals.
That is, what's the modifier for that?
I don't think it does.
there
You know,
one?
you
Do I
just do it. Yeah, you just cast the Speak with Animals.
19.
So you don't actually have to roll for it, I don't think.
I rolled so good.
I'm just double checking the spell. Yep, so just one action. It lasts for 10 minutes, and you gain the ability to comprehend and verbally communicate with beasts for the duration.
Yep.
Okay.
I just want to talk to the.
All right, what are you saying?
She wants to know what its name is, if it has a name, and she also wants to know if it's like comfortable, if there's anything we can do to like.
Do we need to put you out of your misery?
So you're talking to this strange crow raccoon creature, which has taken some of the hair from the high pony, it's like hanging down from, and is like munching on the ends of her hair, and it just looks at you and like makes a strange chittering sound like a raccoon.
Right.
And that's it.
Aww.
I can't do a raccoon sound, clearly, but
Frankie just kind of like pats it and is like, her name is Apple.
All right, Gwyneth.
all this to say, basically, you cannot talk to the crow-coon because it is in fact not a beast.
Oh, come on!
Information you can discover what the crow-coon is if you look at my Twitter, because I made stats for it.
Oh, it's your trash coon!
It's my trash griffin!
Trash griffin!
It is in fact a monstrosity.
Oh, come on!
My favorite monstrosity.
I was gonna make it a
away
beast.
from me. I might have to leave.
I was gonna make it a beast, but griffins are monstrosities in the monster manual. So.
Well, I also feel like it's very relevant to say that it's a griffin and not a crow raccoon, because that means, one, it has bird hands.
It does have bird hands.
It has wings.
It has wings. Yes, it does. I did fail to say the wings part. Body of a raccoon, wings, bird talon, front arms. Yeah, it's a griffin. It's just a crow raccoon griffin. I am releasing stats for all of the trash griffins because I'm collaborating with the artists. So look out for those. It's very exciting.
I have a post. If you are in the stream chat, I have posted a link to Alicia's tweet with her lovely
thank you.
Crow raccoon trash griffin.
Shout out to the artist M. Tillery, who came up with the concept and then ever so kindly agreed to work with me so that I could turn them into usable monsters. And then because I did that, I obviously had to put them in this game. And I definitely did not conceive of this entire thing just to do that. And now we're at 9 o'clock. Everyone has had an attempt to turn their apples into a different color. And I think we will see how the rest of this plays out when we come back after our short break.
How long will I be eating dirt? I just don't know.
We don't get to know.
The whole break, obviously.
You'll find out more dirt information when we come back.
Dirt on the dirt!
So yeah, we're gonna go take a quick 10-minute break, everyone, and we will be back with more
Forthwith.
trash griffin shenanigans and dirt eating shenanigans, and we'll see what else happens, I guess. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon. And we're back! Hello! We are gonna play some more D&D. When we left off, things were out of control. Nimble is shoveling dirt rapidly into her mouth. There's a crow raccoon griffin that is now Emily's daughter. Sinesh is making some kind of sound. It's sandstorm. Just constantly emanating out of her.
I linked it in the Twitch chat, everyone, so you hear exactly what Sinesh sounds like.
I really hope you've heard this song before, chat.
You actually find it on a dulcimer?
Yeah!
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to go back and clip that later.
Guys, when I said I found it, I meant I found it.
As as you look around the room, you notice, besides Nimble shoveling dirt into her mouth, how long is this going to happen, Nimble? Nimble, you're going to want to eat dirt for 2 hours.
I can't control it.
You can't control it.
Just gotta eat it.
Yeah,
gotta
you're
eat it.
just shoveling dirt right into your mouth. And
has anyone else fucked up as badly as we have?
At the table across from you, you see Wilfred, your favorite little halfling boy that you met at the dinner. He is making a bunch of swords, and they look very familiar. He keeps trying to do his spell, and it's in gnomish. Although we lost Frankie. Everything looks
Frankie.
crazy. Okay, hold on, everyone. We're gonna get Frankie back, and then we'll be right back, so you don't have to look at this silly screen. Sorry.
Sandstorm again.
Yeah, listen to Sandstorm. We found Frankie! She got lost in the teleportation circle because she did not say Babadook clearly enough.
Mumbly.
Babadook, Duke.
And now I have to fix all the names, so I'm going to do that while everyone talks about what's happening. So yeah, he's making a bunch of swords.
No, wait, okay, is the apple changing into a sword?
Oh no,
or
the apple is there.
Okay.
It is just now surrounded by a pile of swords, like he's summoning them somehow.
Did he say it once and it's continually summoning swords, or does he keep trying?
No, he keeps trying.
Okay.
He keeps trying, and more swords
Not like
keep
a
coming.
rolling conjuration spell.
If you will remember correctly, as you may not, because it's been a while, this is not his first year here. He was held back.
Har gently scoots himself away from his study space and walks over and is like, "Do you want me to pick these up?" I don't mean to be forward or presumptive, but this is a tripping hazard.
Please, yeah, can you help me? I have a... And he leans in close to you, Sahar, and says, This happened to me last year, and I have a place where I put them all.
About 3/4 of the way.
It's all coming together.
Nice callback. Nicely done.
That room.
Will you help me take them there, maybe?
Sahar scoops up many swords in his dragon arms and is like, Professor, could I go put these away?
Oh, yes.
I'll be
Please,
right back.
please help him. Alright, so you are taking the swords, and Professor Theraval, once Wilfred leaves, turns to the rest of the class and says, I don't know what he's done. He makes them appear, and I can't make them go away.
The swords are a fixed point in time.
They just won't go anywhere, and it's the same sword. Identical? Oh, I think
Sahar comes back and he's like, they really are all the same. I counted.
How's dirt eating going there, Nimble?
Oh, it was delicious. I'm getting real full, but I can't stop. How high is this tower?
Very tall. I don't know, say 20 stories.
That is very, very tall. If we were like near the ground floor, Nimble would just like jump out the window and start eating.
Oh, you're probably only about 5 stories up in the town.
No,
God,
Nimble, no, that's too many stories.
That's too many stories. Put some back.
Is there like a potted plant or something?
Nimble, can you please roll a Constitution saving throw for me?
God.
Am I jumping or is this for eating?
This is for eating.
The option. You're oh, okay.
Until you tell me you jump out the window.
Constitution saving throw. Great. +1. 7.
So someone asks you a question. Who asks Nimble a question? We'll start there. Who's talking
it
to
seems
Nimble?
like the teacher is not concerned.
Not overly, but you know what? He will. He'll check on you. I've seen this before.
Nor would eventually after a little while. Sort of,
Okay.
because kind of like Frankie was sort of like maybe they're meant to do that. Maybe it's just like a cultural thing. I don't want to. I don't want to.
So
like
you approach then, Nimble, and you start to notice that they're slowing down, but not. Like they look a little queasy. And as you approach to say something to them, Nimble, you turn around, you open your mouth, and just vomit dirt everywhere. Nor, can you please make a dexterity saving throw to get out of the way of the vomit dirt?
oh, that's actually Dex.
Saving
Dex.
throws should be at the top.
So I actually rolled a 21.
Wow.
Holy moly! Yeah.
Should I roll an attack roll?
So Nora's going to get out of the way of the first
The
Volley.
volley. If you would like to try and barf on Nora, you can.
I don't want to do it on purpose.
All right. Then you're good.
Incidental vomit only.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've just thrown up a bunch of dirt almost on your friend, but she manages to jump out of the way. How are you feeling, Nimble?
Still want to eat dirt because it's not been 2 hours.
At this point in time, Professor Theravel comes over and looks at you and says, "This has happened before, but never so intensely." And he's going to like put a hand on your head, and as he does so, the urge to eat the dirt kind of eases for you. It's still there a little bit, but you don't feel quite so overwhelmed with the urge to eat dirt. It's more like a craving now.
Constant craving.
I like eat a little bit more dirt.
Yeah, fair.
All right, make another Constitution saving throw for me.
I feel like that's the least surprising thing that has happened.
It was a 9.
Yeah, that dirt you just ate comes right back up again.
I'm just gonna like just lie down on the floor.
That's such a fucking cat thing. Dude. Like, that thing made me sick. I guess I'll just keep eating it.
So true.
Sahar, how are you feeling watching all of your friends fail so epically?
Sahar's just standing in the doorway, having hung up 9 gazillion swords, just like, should I get a mop and a bucket?
Professor Theravel is like, no, it's fine. We have excellent custodial staff.
I could cast Gust.
I
Just sort of remove it.
No, can't prestidigitation clean?
Yeah.
Only
If you can pee someone's pants, you can unvomit someone's floor.
if you would like to try to use prestidigitation, to clean the floor of the vomit, you can do that.
Nor, do you want to try or should
Oh,
I?
she would try. Okay.
All right, roll that Arcana check for me, please.
God bless you.
Your scroll has been used up, so you're now doing it from memory, so it's not with advantage. It's just a regular roll.
That would be a 13.
Yeah, that's
I
not
help?
enough. And, so what's gonna happen? Got my fun little random chart here. Unless someone wants to jump in, what happens on this failed roll, if anyone has any good ideas?
I think perhaps when Nor, like, because the vomit is very close to Nimble, it, instead of doing the dirt vomit, it hits Nimble, and Nimble wants to eat more dirt.
Okay, yeah, you undo whatever it was that Professor Terrible had done, and Nimble's urge to eat dirt begins to rise again.
It'd be great. Nimble stands back up and starts eating the dirt from the potted plants again.
Can I cast sleep on Nimble?
You can cast sleep on Nimble if you would like.
Good night, sweet friends.
Sorry, I need to cat my desk real quick. Hold on.
Come on, Daisy.
Sinesh, a tiny bird lands on your shoulder.
And my little white bird.
Your little white bird lands on your shoulder.
I look at it and just nod a little, not even trying to open my mouth anymore at this point. Just hello.
It like hops over into your ear and like kind of sticks its little beak real close and opens its mouth, and you hear, "This could have gone better."
Yep. Sinesh nods in agreement.
Then it looks like it's about to say something, and someone attempts to cast prestidigitation again, and the bird just disappears.
Oh, good.
Oh no.
As in, like, is this a way that it has disappeared before, or is this new behavior?
It's
for this
new.
bird?
It's new behavior. A couple little feathers kind of float in the air.
Oh no.
I catch them with great concern, and I save them just in case it wants them back later.
Okay, sounds good. Frankie, can you please make a perception check for me?
I don't like this. 13.
All right. It's a little bit before you notice that the raccoon is not just, or the crocoon griffin is not just chewing on your hair. She's eating it. And now you have an uneven pony as it is like
Oh no.
chopped on the edges of your hair.
Rest in peace, High Pony.
Apple rude.
They're rude.
I mean,
Rude.
Apple hasn't taken a lot off, but definitely, you know, it was a perfect pony before, and now it's kind of got a bit of a slant where it's kind of been unevenly chewed.
I think if there's any students that haven't done the spell yet, I think Frankie would kind of like to grab their apple and just start like slicing it up and handing it the apple.
Sure, yeah. There are some apples around that are still red that you can have. Unsure if they've been like successfully, you know, turned into another color and turned back, or if there's failures, or the first one you cut into is actually full of worms. Presumably that was a fail.
Oh. Would Apple like that?
No, Apple rejects the worm
No
apple.
one wants that apple.
But you do.
Bird.
you do find a couple of apples that are useful and you can feed to her, and at least momentarily she stops chewing on your hair.
Okay.
Um,
dear.
This nonsense goes on for probably another 30 minutes. At one point in time, Merida grows a 15-foot-long beard. Just
Solid.
sprouts out of nowhere. She's concerned. She is a human. She doesn't normally have facial hair. And certainly not out of the blue for 15 feet long. And Professor Theraval's approach is to be like, oh, don't worry, it'll go away. And then he just takes a dagger and cuts it off to a more manageable length for her in the meantime. The room is filled with strange creatures. At one point in time, a unicorn pops in, just stands in the corner for 30 seconds, and then disappears again. Just weird stuff. At the end of the class, first I will say, anyone who failed, if you would like to attempt your prestidigitation again, you can.
Do I get sleep?
Are you putting Nimble to sleep?
If we've made it 30 minutes and this madness is still continuing, Sahar does not see a point in putting Nimble to sleep anymore.
Alright, so Nimble, you just will continue to... Professor Theraval comes maybe another 10 minutes after your thing. It's like, oh dear God. And tries to calm you again.
Okay. I immediately go back to lying down on the floor. I'm like, just my mouth is crusted with dirt, and I'm miserable.
This was a excellent class, everyone.
Has it been 3 hours yet?
No.
Okay.
He does come over to you and quiets it a little bit. And he just says,
it's not gone, but it is quieter.
it was just a little loud. Don't worry, it'll wear off in a few hours. By the time class is done, you probably have about an hour and a half left of making music coming from you.
That feels about right in my soul.
All right, cool. So end class. Good job, everyone. Good effort. I know some of you might be feeling a little bit embarrassed, and that's perfectly normal and okay. Everyone has to start somewhere, and magic might not be for you, and that's all right. We'll just learn some basics, and then you can forget about it over the summer. That's what most students do anyways.
Too real.
But thank you for participating today, and don't forget, your notes on Francesca Farblatt and the notes on prestidigitation. They will be on the midterm next month. All right, class dismissed. See you next week. As you file out of the classroom, the custodial staff is filing in, and they have a lot of cleaning supplies, and also some nets for catching the various creatures that have appeared in the room. On the topic of various creatures, Frankie, what are you doing with Apple?
As she sees the net, Frankie pulls Apple from her shoulder and holds her to her chest and gives him a death stare as she walks by.
All right, please roll a stealth for me. No, roll a sleight of hand for me to hide Apple from the custodial staff.
7.
All right, you do not hide Apple from the custodial staff. They see you trying to, shove her down, and they approach you and they say, miss? What is that?
This is Apple. I brought her with me.
Well, students aren't supposed to have pets, so I highly doubt that. Also,
He's my emotional support trash griffin.
it looks a lot like those, and points in the direction of another kind of griffin. Although that's not the right notepad. This one appears to be a vulture possum.
Oh, best. I
Frankie
love it.
goes, "Oh wow, that's really big," and then walks quickly away.
Do you have
Atta
art
girl.
for this one yet?
No, I don't have art for this. I have art. Yes, there is art for this one, but I don't have the stats yet. I haven't made it up. You can find the trash griffins online. Just search trash griffins. I can't share the ones that I have because until I've sort of got them into my file, because the artist doesn't want anyone to steal them, and I think that's totally fair. Don't steal from artists, people. That's not cool. So, but you can search trash griffins and see a whole bunch. I do believe that there is art for the vulture opossum up there somewhere. Okay. Frankie.
And he's gone. He's
Well,
gone.
give me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, so it's just straight up, or do I add something to it?
So it would be under your dexterity saving. It would be under your saving throws section, top left, I think, on the sheet.
I know how to D&D. I know how things work. Okay, 15.
All right, yeah. So the custodian that you're talking to is a middle-aged human man, and he reaches out to stop you, but you manage to swerve out of the way and take off with Apple down
Atta girl.
down the hallway. Where would you like to go now, all of you?
Is it dinner time?
It will be dinner probably in an hour or so.
I think Frankie wants to approach Sahar. Have you seen one of these before?
Only in moderately interesting beasts. I've never seen one in person before. Did you have any questions? We could consult one of my 3 editions of moderately interesting beasts and where one might locate them.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you could summarize the for me.
Eats everything. Hard to sort of housebreak, but possible. And generally loyal, if not flittish, sort of whimsical companion animal.
How might someone go about trying to train her?
Well, generally what is recommended is they can be litter trained, but they do need a lot of options. So usually it's recommended that you put some sort of receptacle in the corners of all of the rooms to which you're going to give them access. And then if you see them trying to go somewhere else, you put them in it. And it's a little bit of trial and error. They eat anything, so you don't really need to be concerned, although they don't have biological reflexes for processing gas, so don't feed them anything carbonated or it will cause them intense gastric distress, and that's just very messy. And they fly, so can't really.
They don't fly very far, to be fair. Birds have lighter bodies, and this creature is dragging around a chunky mammal back end. So it can only fly, its fly speed is 15 feet in 6 seconds. It's
it flies like a
slower.
chicken flies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Birds fly. Yeah, okay.
It flies about how you would expect a raccoon to fly.
Yes. Yeah. Also, they are known to seek out other groups of crow coons to form massive, what are essentially murders of crows, to squawk, for hours on end.
Just squawking.
In some kind of crow coon parliament.
I say that.
They're quite noisy.
I love everything that you just said.
How might I train her not to eat my hair anymore?
Oh, cover it in grapefruit juice.
Man,
Yep,
you're
just-
so good at improv.
I'm talking about things that you can do to housebreak rats and things that cats don't like.
Based in fact.
Yeah, rats can't process gas. It makes them sick. They just sort of kind of get stocked up.
I think that's true about birds too, because I remember some like urban legend about Altoids.
I mean, also,
Sandwiches.
bird farts sound horrific.
Also, like, birds have the omni hole, so there's just a lot going on there.
Why does it always come back to cloaca with you?
Nimble, your desire to eat dirt has significantly gone down.
Yeah.
Now.
I've been like, I initially started to leave the room by like just crawling out, and now I'm just like hunched over. But I'm very satisfied, or not satisfied, but very relieved. I no longer want to eat dirt.
Sinesh still has like an hour left of playing music, so she doesn't understand how the music works. So the volume, like anytime she tries to talk and it gets louder, she sort of yells over it. She's like, "I'm gonna go for a run and just blow off some steam. If anyone wants to come, I'll be out on the track." And Sinesh is gonna go for a run, listening to Sandstorm for an entire extra hour.
To be fair, Sandstorm's about 9 minutes long, so that's
It
only a couple playthroughs.
It is a long song, but like, that's a lot of Sandstorm.
Yeah. 3 hours of Sandstorm. Okay, so you go for a run. Is anyone joining Sinesh on her run?
Oh, running is terrible.
Yeah.
Frankie doesn't join her, but while Sinesh was there, she was like bouncing Apple to like the beat of the song.
Like on her knee.
Well, no, like just, you know how like you're, I don't know, you hold it and you just kind of like bounce.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, no, that's reasonable. I just had a picture of someone holding a raccoon and like bouncing on their knee like a toddler.
Yeah. Like when you get
Amazing.
your cat under the armpits and hold them up and they hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that will come later.
So good. All right, so Sinesh is gonna run before dinner. What are the rest of you gonna do before dinner?
I feel like Sahar is gonna go through his copy of Moderately Interesting Beasts and literally make Frankie like a how-to housebreak this unhousebreakable creature.
All right. Mechanically, how this is going to work, Frankie, if you would like to train Apple, I will make you roll a animal handling check once a day, and then anytime you want to like try something new or like do a new trick or something, we'll roll animal handling as well.
Can Sahar help?
Yeah.
Can Sahar help?
Yeah, with your like assistance and your research, I would for sure let you do a help action.
Excellent.
Cool.
Too many failed rolls in a row, let's say 4 in a row, and Apple will go away.
He will escape.
Oh, no.
Just a warning.
I mean, you did create him out of the ether, so...
Or out of an apple? It's kind of unclear. Maybe if you...
Either way, don't eat that.
Maybe if you fail Apple will just turn back into an apple. Maybe that will happen anyways. Anyway,
We'll just have to mess up in the same way. Just
Nor, what are you gonna do before dinner?
Nora's pretty boring. Nora's gonna go into her either in the common room or into her room and just like do some school reading.
Excellent. Sounds good. Nimble.
Nimble is honestly gonna lie in bed until they feel better.
Are you gonna go to dinner?
No.
Okay.
I'm full. I'm disgusted. Just don't.
Full of dirt. That's awesome.
Can you even digest dirt? Nimble go to the not hospital, but like
I haven't figured out what to call it yet. The nurse, the clinic?
Yeah, I don't know.
Infirmary.
The infirmary. That's a good word.
That's the thing.
Yes, you should go to the infirmary potentially, or not. It's up to you.
We'll try doing nothing first, and if doing nothing doesn't work, then...
All right. Sounds good. So you guys are mostly in the purple dorm then, except for Sinesh, who's out for a run. I assume Zahar and Frankie, you went also to the dorm.
Yeah, I feel like that makes the most sense.
All right, cool. You pass some time. Up in purple dorm, you do run into Brea, the Goliath woman who helped you out. She like, keeps an eye out on purple dorm. And she looks at you, Frankie, and says, where did you get a creature like that?
I made her.
I don't think you're supposed to have that.
It's okay, I'm training her. She'll be fine.
Okay. That's a weird looking creature.
She's just like floppy. With her little.
Brea also notices your chewed up ponytail, and she's like, do you want me to fix that?
Do you know how to do hair?
Yeah. I
Please.
had to learn to do my own.
How's her hair looking?
Her hair is actually very, very nice.
Okay.
Brea is a Goliath, so she's huge. She's also very, like, her hair is done very beautifully. It's done in a very feminine style. She's wearing a lot of dresses. You always see her wearing dresses. But she is, for lack of a better way to say this, appears to be like a non-passing trans person. That doesn't really matter. I just want to, give you a whole picture of her. But she's very feminine looking in the way that she dresses and her hair, and she has beautiful makeup on as well. I mean, she looks like she knows what she's doing. Like, she's had to learn what she needs to do.
Frankie is very enthusiastic and grateful for her to fix her hair.
Yeah, okay, so she brings some scissors, and she sits down with you. Elliot, you're making a face. Is that a bad face?
No, I'm just looking at the trash, Chris.
Oh, okay. All right. You were just making like a grumpy face, and I was like,
no,
did I say something? I'm just trying to have some diversity in my game. Also, because I strongly believe that when we have trans people in our games, we need to have people that we would say pass, and also people that we say would not pass, because there's a variety of trans people out there, and I often find that
why is the concept of passing a thing in your fantasy world? Why can't people just be gender diverse?
Oh, they certainly can be. They certainly can be. Maybe it was phrased badly, but I definitely just want to point to the fact that, like, I often find when we see trans women, particularly in things, that we see, like, very feminine trans women. And this is, like, someone who is sort of not as... Because those people exist. I know.
They do.
I know those people, and I want those people to be in my game. That's all. So she takes scissors, and she starts to, like, clean up your hair. She pulls it down. She doesn't just, like, chop it off at the back of the ponytail. She obviously knows what she's doing. So she, like, takes it down, and she, like, measures it out, and she sniffs it, and she talks to you about, like, how she learned to do it from this woman who used to, like, travel through the mountain and would, like, teach her how to do her hair, because most of the other people that she lived with didn't have hair. Like, her particularly, tribe of Goliaths, shaved most of their hair off, so she didn't have anyone to teach her how to do her hair. Like, her mom was, like, completely bald, and so this, like, traveling hairstylist would come through and do her hair. So she tells you the story about that. And your hair comes out probably about, like, 4 inches shorter than it was, but it's nice and even in the end, and no longer has the signs of a raccoon chewing on it. Does anyone want to do anything else before dinner time? Nora, what are you studying?
Whatever this school's equivalent of herbology is, that is what Nor has decided to.
Excellent, excellent. Do I have a name for that class already? Gromany class list. I do not! Do you want to name the class?
I have been real bad with the improv tonight.
You don't have to, it's okay.
No, I've got nothing.
Alright. I don't have anything either.
We're eating for dummies.
Plant class is what I'm going to write down for now, and we will come up with a better name than plant class in the future.
Some kind of Little Shop of Horrors reference, please. Not right this second, I just mean the...
Yeah, that's just going to be, like, percolating in my head now.
Maybe the teacher's name is Audrey something, you know.
Love
Or
it.
Seymour.
Cool. So, dinner comes around, you head down to the place where you eat, the cafeteria, that's the word I'm looking for. Sinesh, do you go...
The dining hall.
The dining hall. I think that's actually what I wrote down on the map, was the dining hall. Sinesh, do you go straight to the dining hall from your run? Do you head upstairs first?
I assume there are, like, steam showers or saunas or some sort of bathing near the workout area, so she'll take she will bathe and clean up and come back and join them at dinner. And the first thing she says is, "What was that song?"
A bop, really.
It was the slap. I'm sorry, it was the slap.
It was. I've just never heard it before, so I don't know why any of that happened.
It was very catchy.
Magic is scary. It can go wrong in a whole myriad ways. Like, Nimble, are you okay?
Are you okay, Nimble?
I think Nimble didn't come down for dinner, though, unless you've changed your mind.
No, I'm not there.
Yeah, that actually makes sense. So, correction, is Nimble okay?
I think they just need some time.
Okay. Yeah, they should probably just go to bed, and we can bring them a cookie or something if they need a snack later. Does Frankie have her friend with her?
Oh, absolutely. I think.
Oh my god,
Frankie
you brought Apple to the dining hall?
I think Frankie's put her in Nimble's spot and is like just sort of like picking things like with her fork and just like spoon feeding it.
Trying to figure out what it wants to eat. Like just
Yeah.
No one would notice. Nimble's not there as long as this weird raccoon thing is here.
Okay, so now I need to do a thing then, because you brought the raccoon to the dining hall. Gotta get my stats. Gotta get my stats.
Oh no.
oh dear.
Can you roll a perception for me, please, Frankie?
Oh dear. Oh no.
I don't think I get to keep Apple. I got a 9.
Apple sneaks off with a 19. You don't notice. And it's not until someone yells and a plate of food goes flying and you see Apple jumping from table to table, like picking things off of people's plates and shoving them into her mouth.
It's my girl.
Her stupid little beak.
Yes, her stupid little beak.
I love her.
And I think we'll end with, so the teachers often come and eat in the dining hall. And I think we will end as Apple takes a running leap and skids across the long table that all the professors eat at, sending their plates flying and coming to a full stop right in front of who's it gonna be? In front of the headmaster. Yeah, in front of the headmaster. In front of Headmaster Trumple. And, like, looks right up at him. And then he has, like, food on his fork, and Apple reaches out and takes it and puts it in her mouth.
Atta girl.
And that's where we're gonna end today's episode.
So talented.
Well done.
I'm so proud of her.
So this
You're doing amazing, sweetie.
yeah,
What she deserves.
this happened. You now maybe have a pet crocoon. Your hair's a little shorter. Nimble never wants to eat dirt again. Sinesh
Or
is
just eat at all.
really tired of that song. And Sahar and Nora, you had a pretty okay day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sahar, are your muscles a little sore maybe from
Swords.
carrying the swords?
Yeah, but he probably needs like a little more exercise because he's a very reedy bookie boy. So
Are you
it's
saying
probably
that
for the better.
dressage is not good
It's a lot
exercise?
of core work. It's a lot of thigh, but like you don't really you don't lift the horse.
Fair enough.
You don't
Nora,
bench a horse.
what was your favorite fact you learned reading your book from plant class today?
Nora got really sidetracked reading about those plants that have like hive consciousnesses.
All right.
And
Yep.
it's like really freaked out. Just like
Okay.
really freaked out. So at dinner she's just like very quiet and like looking at the salad suspiciously. Just sort of like,
Anxious Nor is my favorite Nor. It's so good.
good. There's a lot of her.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We had a lot of mess, a lot of shenanigans.
And
But
a lot of sandstorm.
and a whole lot of sandstorm. Entirely too much sandstorm, perhaps. But thank you for coming and hanging out with us. Like, subscribe, follow us, all that good stuff. if capitalism isn't holding you down, you can throw us a few dollars through tips or a subscription so that capitalism will hold us down a little less, maybe. But don't feel bad if you can't do that. Just tell your friends to come and watch, support queer content creators. Again, episode 10, so exciting, and we will be back next week to see what's going to happen with Apple and the disaster that she just created in the dining hall. So, I think we all know what time it is now. As we look at Chris.
Do 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 do.
Bye everyone.
Do 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 do.